Kevin, huge disappointment this evening. I imagine, having been, in a strong position against Kidderminster Harriers, and the game slipped away for you in the last 5-10 minutes, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. That they're obviously a full-time side with good players in their ranks and very capable players. And to manage the game like we have and limit the moments and chances and opportunities that have had is a real plus and a positive. But by the same token, you need that to mean something at the end of it, and you need to take points out of the game, especially when you get yourself into the lead in a good situation and don't really look in too much danger. I appreciate that, Kidderminster are coming onto a game and were squeezing us. And ultimately it's really disappointing not to take anything from the game. I think we look more solid than we have done in previous weeks, and players doing the job and winning individual battles was a real positive tonight. And like I say, there's some strong individual performances there, and for large parts a good team performance. But the reality, and again, the result doesn't lie. We haven't got ourselves over the line and seen the situation through.
Sure. You've spoken about actually putting yourself in a position to be able to manage the game, and I think you did that to a certain extent by getting a goal up, and then you did that for the rest of the first half, and then it was quite clearly Kidderminster came out with I think there was probably some stern words spoken at half time in their dressing room by the looks of things, because they did come out with a lot more energy, and then that tide began to turn.
Yeah, you've got to manage those situations and understand those situations, and for large parts we did. You can't expect Kidderminster to sit back and just allow it to happen. That's not gonna be the case ever. As I say, they've got good players that play open and make the game big and expansive at times. Capable boys, like I say, and not an easy side to beat. But when you get yourself to that position, staying solid together and just like I say, seeing out certain moments and maintaining those concentration levels for 90 minutes, I think would have seen us through. And as I say, yes, you have to give Kidderminster credit. They've kept going and they've felt there's always something there for them. And yeah, it's disappointing from our end, but I think there are improvements there. But again, not enough to see us over the line.
When you look back at a game like that one, I mean, you as a manager, you do have to look at the negative parts of it, but you've got to look for the positives in it as well. How easy is it to hang on to those positives when the game gets away from you so late? Because that's the thing that stays in your mind, surely.
Yeah, I mean, we've been guilty in the past of gifting opposition cheap and easy leads and very early in the game and giving ourselves a mountain to climb. So I think you look at tonight's game and think, okay, we've managed it pretty well throughout and been more difficult and resilient, which is a positive and needs to be the case into each and every game, and that needs to be the case again for 90 minutes, not just 85 or you need to see it right the way through. And people are learning and understanding certain situations better. That clearly again needs to speed up and needs to be more solid, and the quicker we can get there, the quicker we'll start to get some results. But certainly I think there's no lack of endeavour there. Players are trying really hard. Just understanding moments, and a second goal would have been massive for us tonight, and just it draws a sting out and doesn't allow what happened in those final few minutes to happen. And it's frustrating, but we'll get together again on Thursday and look to try and build on all the positives that we take out tonight.
And it was, I wouldn't say makeshift side this evening, but there were some players playing in unfamiliar positions, like Jordan Piggott playing in front of the back four. I thought did reasonably well. Maybe distribution isn't his strong point, but he was getting in the way of a lot of the traffic that was coming in his direction. Is there some positive there in that there are players to return in those positions that can strengthen it?
Yeah, we've got a lot of players out again. Ozzy out, Robbie Evans out, Liam Nolan out. These are big players for us. Devan out, Kai Williams out. The list goes on. And I've said weeks ago that we need all the big players at the races for us to try and be successful. And some of those younger players have gone in and done pretty well for us. But I think that bit of experience in crucial times you know, will help us, and you need those big players. You need options to bring off the bench and to, you know, at crucial times, and we perhaps haven't quite had that tonight. You know, there's youngsters on the bench there really for us by and large. We've put Byron on, and he's had a go for us. But outside of that, you know, there's a lot of inexperience on that bench. But look, that's where we find ourselves. It's no good feeling, you know, me feeling sorry for myself or for us. We've got to, like I say, pick it up and go again. And if we can put that same sort of endeavour and desire into Saturday, you know, I'd like to think we'll give ourselves a chance.
Sure. And was that sort of like the key in the latter stages of that game where people were tiring? It was just that lack of experience in the players you'd got on the bench to be able to change it, because I think one or two players did look like, well, they were tiring. It was a big mental effort as well, I think, in trying to resist that.
You know, you have to give Kidderminster credit for that they're a full-time side, and that, you know, they work the ball very well and continue to move it quickly. And when you don't retain possession at crucial times or make decent clearances, you know, they're going to be straight back on you. And I think there's little bits and pieces there that we didn't recognise as well as we should have done. But look, like I say, you know, there is bags of endeavour there and desire, a bit more understanding, better conditioning, and lads that are able to deal with it physically throughout the 90 minutes. Again, will help for us to be, you know, be able to get more wins and you know, pick more points up. That's where we need to go. And it's when you're up against full-time sides, you know, your level of fitness as a part-time team needs to be right up there. And you know, players have to take a large responsibility for keeping themselves in tip-top shape. And I think there's one or two there that, again, for whatever reason, aren't quite at the level that we need them to be at. And they've got to take responsibility for that and make sure that they do get up to those levels. You know, they get all the assistance in the world, and we've got loads of knowledge and know-how outside of it, and a load of guidance. And it's important they tap into that and, like I say, you know, move themselves forward physically, and they're better, you know, equipped to then to go and do the job.
Really appreciate your time, Kevin. Thanks very much. Thank you.